Hello, ciao, welcome back on iKeysRacing. Still Marco from Monza, from the usual iKeysRacing cave, but today I'm almost surprised by myself, given that I am doing the third video in a week time, so like almost when I was before my stop between September and October. So more than happy to do this. There was GTLegends to be concluded, at least with the last two races of a cup that I don't remember, but we will discover it together. First of all, thank you very much for everything you did so far for iKeysRacing channel community, and absolutely let's try to go on this way again and again and again. That being said, it's almost 8 p.m. In the late evening, beginning of the night, so maybe it will be a night recording, night editing, and then we will have the video ready for Friday evening maybe of this week. I hope so. Anyway, welcome back, thank you very much, spasiba, dankeschön, merci beaucoup, obrigado, muchas gracias, grazie, and arigato. Let's go on track for two races today, very long, but I will try to cut down the dead moments, and maybe we will approach also a new final cup, but we will see it together. So eyeglasses mounted and a beautiful, now I see a yellow Batman logo that with the chroma key does not make the difference, like the, how do you call this, the hoodie of the area. Oh well, a bit yes, it's a matter of saturation and how much green you have to remove, but this one is really how to say, it's really a hole, it should be yellow. Well, whatever. We go back to single player, the cup challenge. We were at cup stage E in a very relaxed way, so we had to finish the GTC 65 championship driving the Ford GT40 to then approach maybe with the same car. No, I want to change the car, maybe a Porsche 911. We will see the next round, but let's start from here. So we cut down the time, the car is the same, we already own the beast. Yes, amateur, because it was the original selection. Let's go to Spa-Francorchamps, where we are accelerating the next session, qualifying. I will start from the back as usual. Yes, in the meantime we can maybe load some Dijon. Yes, for GT40. Load and save it under Spa-Francorchamps will be handy the next time for sure. Save as well as for GT40. Back. Okay, at Spa there will be the fifth gear, maybe requiring a longer or a final. No, we cannot change. Oh yes, it's already at the maximum, so that's it. We will have to cover 20 laps, so will be a full let me stay, yeah, the maximum 22 laps for almost 1 hour of race. So save it as it is under Spa. Yes, and that will be the technical not so changeable thing of GTLegends at this point of the season. Maybe we can play with the caster, but I do want to have anyway a bit of agility while cornering. For the rest is really as it is usual. So yes, very stiff at the front and very soft at the rear. It's an average thing that I think will always be okay. So we can stop the accelerated time, save the game, fine. On pole we will have AC Cobras, Shelby Cobras, Lotus, Shipper Lotus, Shelby Cobras, oh, there are a lot of Cobras at the top. So the American muscle cars here will be possibly the thing to beat and a lot of Lotus 7 Series 1 to be actually passed before reaching the rest of the group. But yes, 20 laps, let's go. Okay, new day, new race. Very cautiously we will try to save the car, possibly before Oruge-Lyon. We have already seen this track a few days ago with the WEC 2015. Good start, bravo Marco. Hold the tires, maybe. Okay. I forgot we have a V8 of maybe 5 liters under my bottom, so maybe it's better to warm up tires before starting to do the idiot. Sorry to show you again well, there's something going on, at least in my brain. Okay. A long time without the Ferrari GTO steering wheel. Maybe there's a different angle to take in consideration. So I didn't want to do a quick and easy episode, but I already see a difficult day here. Let's use the torque. Use the torque. And maybe be patient. The championship is won for what I remember. But really, this is not a modern GT car. So maybe I must go back a bit to connect my brain. The driving module of GTLegends, that to me still remains the most beautiful thing ever created on a video game, but you must get used to it. Obviously, sorry, we have the old bus stop chicane. Year 2000. Plus a huge steering lock of 34 degrees. Oops. Oh yes, baby. Much better. But as you can see, the difference is very huge in performances. It's already P26. Let's try to get into my brain points of braking, points of cornering. behavior from an handling point of view. Maybe not overstressing also tires. Downshifting also, not using all the RPM to avoid to spin the rear end. Yes. Some are defending very hardly, some others not. Ooh, passed outside Cockpit. What a figure. What a bad figure. I am ashamed, absolutely. What a Sunday driver I've become after 1 month of complete stop. Not bad this move, but the pass outside Cockpit will remain always one of my worst day action and whatever for the rest of my existence. Shy tentative. Here we can maybe unleash the raw power of the 5 liters Ford V8, if it is a 5 liters, or 6 liters maybe, I don't remember. Before taking full throttle this corner, I want to go down a bit with fuel load. Also taking curbs directly does upset a bit the GT40. Maybe I'm too rigid in front. but it is what I received from a feedback, and consider that using the Ferrari GT250 steering wheel gives you anyway a different type of reaction required. It's not smooth like a Formula or a GT rounded steering wheel. Here you maybe apply less force because the radius of the steering wheel is bigger, so you increase the leverage from a physical point of view, so you feel less effort while cornering. But being so tiny in diameter here, with the surface you keep in your hands, it's like if you were driving just with two fingers like this. So it's like driving with just the sensation of controlling the car with just two fingers like this, even if you apply all of your palm surface on the steering wheel. It's very nice indeed. If you have the opportunity to purchase this steering wheel for old cars like this, or just for fun, for cars in the 30s, whatever, it's really fun. Okay, we are not anymore the driver with the fastest lap time, but it's not a problem because it's lap 4 out of 20, so just 1/5 of the race elapsed so far. Okay, we get back the fastest lap of the race. Doesn't matter, no points added. So I don't know if I can explain by words, with words, the difference of feeling, but compared to all the other two steering wheel I have, the Formula and the GT, this one seems more loose in some way and more liked compared to the other two. I think decently reproducing. If you ever had the opportunity to drive an old Fiat 500, 600 or anyway small cars of the 60s and the 70s, you get this feeling. I don't know if the Ferrari 250 GTO was with that feeling. I don't think it was heavier than a 500 or a 600. But the fact that you had control maybe, I don't know, 300 horsepower, P3 in the meantime, I think that the sensation could have been similar to this. or at least closer than driving a car like this with a modern steering wheel. Also with the gear change you must be a bit more precise. You cannot treat the gearbox like with a pedal shift sequential type. You have to leave a bit of time between each gear. Something that, for example, nowadays Nico Rosberg loves a lot. During an interview he said, I had the opportunity to drive the most recent and exciting cars from a technological point of view, but nothing can beat the mechanical feeling of actually moving a mechanical device of the car you are driving. I agree with him absolutely, despite not having the experience Nico had at all. We say hello to Nico Rosberg. Very fun, very well prepared always. A real petrol head. And if you happen to go into YouTube channel of Rosberg Nico, just have a look to when he actually tested a Ferrari F40 owned by a neighbor of Nico in Monte Carlo. Very nice story. Okay, 6 laps and we are reaching Mr. Scott with a Shelby Cobra, AC Cobra. So we may take the lead in a couple of corners. So from now onwards I will shut up until the end, if no mistakes, issues or stupid silly things like this will happen in our race. Okay, believe it or not, 7 laps to go. I've collected a series of mistakes, silliness and auto issues that, but not auto because the vehicle, auto self-inflicted issues that I feel guilty to show them to my mother. If you don't mind, on YouTube will never come, but having the Lotus 7 Series 1 model into this game after we played with the Road to Le Mans theme in June, prior to the real 24 hours race of Le Mans. At least we have some cars to overlap. That maybe was the original intention, the original aim of the programmers, to give you long races with also the management of the traffic. But if if you are quick like Dimitar of Turbo Racing, or I mean if you are not a nut lemon like me, maybe you get slower cars, sorry, much earlier than now, at almost 6 laps to go. So there is another added difficulty to the game with long races. The difference in speed is absolutely crazy. They are technically running chicanes. Nonetheless, I was thinking, okay, once I'm in the lead, I will give, I don't know, 2 seconds per lap to the second currently classified, and so on. But until I didn't reach overlapped cars that are slowing down my contenders, our contenders, I must say the collection of silliness made in Monza by Marco as the face of iKeysRacing on our channel community, absolutely disgusting. The only thing I did learn is getting fourth gear or rouge radillon, because you lift, you wait the car to reestablish the weight, not like this, and then you almost go flat out on Camel Straight. Now, I was not rushing because we have 10 seconds of advantage over Mr. Scott and so on that are blocked by Lotus 7 models. So the next lap will be the real one, showing you the only thing I did learn here, and not because of the track but because of me, myself. So for sure you are better than me, and in a race like this you would have 5 or 6 laps just to start from the back, pass car by car, and then simply cruise to the end. Instead I had to go back to P5, P4, P6 and charge back my attack to the top 5 positions. For the rest, really driving like on eggs, nothing special. Every defect of the surface is well transmitted to your steering wheel. It becomes very light, as said before. Just a half a second between each gear to avoid to spin the clutch. Here with the car of half of the race gone, it has less fuel on board, you finally get, as said, rouge radillon in 4th gear, lifting a lot, coasting a lot. I don't remember the name of the last corners, Pujon maybe, before, I'm not sure, before the bus stop chicane. Then really it's just a game of balance. But you get there in 5th gear, full throttle, you lift for the last corner. Like here, be ready. Much better now, yes. That's it, full throttle in 4th gear. You use the torque and then you put the 5th. As you can see, top right corner, 11 seconds over Mr. Scott still blocked maybe and not capable to charge back. So at this point, see you at the end of the race. Okay, last corners. I don't know if lap 20 will become also a 20th lap completed. So I don't know if it is this the last turn or not. We will discover it in a couple of seconds. Maybe one more, or the 20th changing in a couple of meters will be the last one. Okay, one more. See you in 2 minutes. Okay, definitely this is lap 20, almost completed. After the arrival of overlapped cars, oops, the gap of Mr. Scott in P2 went up to 41 seconds. We did overlap also for the second time a lot of Lotus 7. So if it wasn't for my silly driving at the beginning, would have been much more easier to win. Anyway, we finished the race with 40 seconds of advantage, and as said, the Lotuses were 2 laps down. So really a total domination with, I suppose, for this cup, not championship as I usually say, absolutely the most dominating car capable to dominate everything. We get another 10 points. We go to 60. We were already the winners. The last race will be just a showcase of our performances. But I wanted to say one thing that is that I don't remember. Yes, now I remember. For the 2024, if iKeysRacing channel will continue, I would like to apply to every possible single championship theme or whatever where there isn't an automatic calculation of points. Always give the first 10 positions overall or into each class 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 up to 1 point for P10, so vice versa compared to the positions, to see let me say what can be a hard competition, hard fight for the overall classification, because between all the different way to assign points manually on our different themes, if there's one thing that I really try to focus and to find out, which is the best possible type of point assignment to actually give until the end sort of hard fight for everybody. What I mean is it's just an experiment. Maybe we'll create something exciting or maybe not. 85 liters to cover 23 laps at Imola out of 20 in total. Let's go to race also at Imola, and finally we will complete the cup we are racing here. Okay, almost by night, so we start immediately with front headlights turned on. This is bad, this is bad, this is bad. Okay, back again. Where is the... Fine, Marco. Luckily the cup was won 3 races ago, so we will stay together just to repair to the mistake did, arriving like a thunder here in the first chicane. So let's hope for a smooth race until we will reach P1, then I will shut up, I will cut down the episode like before. And I'm not doing the heel and toe just because it is not needed. I've tried a couple of corners at Spa, but it was not really the thing to do. It's more an upset than anything else with a high torque engine calibrated. And bravo Marco again. Think before you drive. It's not a tentative to make things more exciting, it is just me stupid enough to overdrive the car with cold tires. And luckily it is amateur level, so in a couple of meters you regain a lot of ground lost. Maybe second gear here is enough. As well here, and third. Yeah. Oops. Warning. First one. Very light the front end here. I was technically blocking, I fear, both front tires. Maybe one day we'll learn that a Ford GT40 is not a prototype or a formula. Maybe. When I'll be a bit older. Oops, sorry, pushing is racing. Maybe better than before, than finishing wide, but not really an orthodox usage of the chicane. And here maybe at 200 meters it's time to brake out of the ideal line. Bad Marco. This is anyway the beauty of old cars, because technically this is something I had the pleasure to talk about with a famous Italian journalist a couple of dinners ago. Until the arrival of prototypes. Sorry, let's go back a second. The Ferrari 250 GTO Gran Turismo homologated Grand Tourer was technically the first car of modern concept like you may expect from today's, like Chevrolet Corvette, Porsche 911, Ferrari 296 and so on. Really did change the rule books in some way. And we were at the beginning of the 60s, 62 if I'm not wrong. But still, it was a racing car coming from the automotive industry of a racing team like Ferrari that was specialized in building fast cars. That's absolutely out of any reasonable discussion. I mean, it's what was Ferrari back then. Much better, you have to lift, at least with this car. So we were at the beginning of the 60s, the GTO Ferrari 250 becomes the real Gran Turismo Grand Tourer, specifically built from scratch for customers, clients. So the need of Enzo Ferrari and Ferrari Company to sell cars to people paying that amount of money, to be very naive, showing off their garages, fine, or customers that wanted to win races at an international level and so had the GTO 250 as a weapon, as a tool. But it was not until the arrival of, let me say, modern prototypes in the 70s, end of the 60s, 70s, like the Porsche 906, 908, 917 and so on, was there where the world of motorsport between GTs and prototypes changed, because technically many GT cars were just road versions undressed from useless things like, I don't know, air conditioning, leather to cover seat belts or dashboards and so on, completely transformed into naked road versions to be lighter. And then, let me say, you could purchase, like nowadays, a Corvette Chevrolet from the General Motors company you get a road version that is similar as much as possible to the Corvette running in the IMSA and WEC Championship, yes, but it's not the same thing, because also modern GT cars are technically prototypes dressed like fast cars that you can purchase in a saloon. So the customers are expecting to see those shapes, those bodyworks and so on. But the car inside is not the one you purchase in a normal saloon. So also the Ford GT40 that had to, anyway, let me say, respect the rule books of a car sold as a normal saloon car for who had the money to purchase it, and maybe was someone much better than me on driving. But after the GTO Ferrari, every manufacturer understood that to build something to win races, there was the need to detach in some way the technology from road cars to become more and more specialized into racing cars. That, I think, anyway, was the original aim of Enzo Ferrari, Ferdinand Porsche. I mean, they had to sell road cars to have funds to continue to race, to pay the cost of being a racing team. And what a better marketing thing to go every Sunday to Daytona, to Sebring, to Monza, to Le Mans and so on, and just win with your car, and the day after sell it to customers and clients, aiming to show off their richness, or to compete professionally. But inside the cars were much more similar, comparing the road version to the racing version. Nowadays it's not anymore like this, because what you see here in the 60s, in the 70s, up maybe to the 80s, were technically road cars undressed by useless stuff, receiving a sort of tube frame to strengthen the rigidity and the resistance to crashes, to a bodywork thought and designed for road use, but then not anymore, let me say, comparable to a road use. So a project maybe like Porsche, Ferrari did, and not only, and Lamborghini, maybe Lamborghini not so much, born to be a race car, receiving the homologation as a road car, but in the thinking of the designer was just a road car since the beginning, to win races and to then convince customer to purchase that product. Nowadays, and this is the nice conversation I had with this journalist, for privacy reasons I will not say who is, but the thing was, also today, when you see a Corvette, a Porsche, a Ferrari or whatever on track, it's a prototype, completely, let me say, refurbished from the road version, with the bodywork of the road version, because customers will be very happy to purchase for their garages a thing resembling the shape of something that has won Le Mans, Daytona and so on. But internally you don't find a single piece almost similar to the road version. Yes, the engine, maybe it is the same engine of 3 liters, 6 cylinders, 4 valves per cylinder, whatever. But really, the materials and so on are not anymore the ones you are going to find on a road version. Starting from the bodywork that will be in carbon fiber, honeycomb, but not for sure in aluminum, for example, as well as brakes that will be carboceramic, blah blah blah, yes, but the road version will be something to be used on a highway, maybe on the Autobahn, German, beautiful leg, free to be used at whatever speed you like. Remember to drive responsibly, with full responsibility, but also responsibly, yes. Sorry for my bad English. But at the end, if you take also a Porsche or a Ferrari on a racetrack on a track day, you don't do 24 hours like in Le Mans without having issues of temperatures, etc. Tires will be different, brakes will be different, the mapping of the engine will be different. So just to say that when sometimes you see people like me or your friends or your parents, I don't know, your colleagues, telling that the 60s and the 70s were something different, they are true, they are right, they are telling the truth, just because also the technology involved into race cars has changed. If you talk about a formula, it's something, it's like an exercise for the purpose of doing an exercise that will last maybe 1 hour of race and then will explode if not properly refurbished. But when you talk about grand tourers or prototypes and so on, you really stay together with the original principles of what is the meaning of the motorsport. So something aiming to take a car and put into the best condition every aspect of the car to be competitive. But this is up to the 60s and the 70s, where you had to sell your products not only to actors and rich people, entrepreneurs and so on, but also and especially to customers willing to compete. Then from the 90s maybe, something has changed, and I think that the reason behind is easily understandable behind the Ferrari F40 and the McLaren F1 GTR, that were the first two raw products born to be mainly on a race stream, also on road races, on road courses that were aimed to be still racing cars with the technology available back then, to be used on a daily basis on normal highways and roads, but really with few changes to become racing cars. And the same, for example, I think will happen to Aston Martin, that has produced a monster like it is the Valkyrie, I don't know the correct pronunciation, but maybe it is the most similar, daily usable road car to what is a racing car. So maybe without many changes from 2025 5, we will see for the first time after a long period of almost 50 years at this point, the arrival on the WEC of a car normally purchasable as it is in a saloon, not really maybe comfortable for daily usage, but just ready to be raced. Something different, talking about Corvettes, Porsches, Ferraris, McLarens and so on. Even if I think that McLaren in particular, it is not so keen as a company to to produce mainly luxury cars like Audi, Mercedes and so on do. And then with the BOP, all the lack of competitiveness of a BMW or a Mercedes is balanced to compete with Ferraris, with McLarens, Porsches and so on. But anyway, I will shut up until the end, until lap 20. See you later. Sorry for this talk and drive, but I wanted to say it since I had the opportunity to have this beautiful dinner with an Italian journalist and commentator that really, I think, explained better than me the concept behind racing cars and road cars. Okay, last chicane, last lap, the next one. Always trying to screw up the race. I did a bit of practice, my floppy arms will be thankful for my training of today. I didn't learn anything special apart from, yes, maybe being more aggressive and more close to the edge of the Ford GT40, even if I think I'm not mastering well enough the beast as it should be used. A particular thing that I let you as it is, the same car setup of Spa-Francorchamps I was thinking was enough to be replicated here, but in reality I must admit I should have reduced all the gears, the finale, the final gear, at least one notch, if not, sorry, I should have reduced the final gear, the finale, by 1 or 2 notches to use also the 5th gear at the end of the straight. Oops, because I think it would have been better to put the engine with more acceleration, a better reprise, and maybe also using, sorry for the bad line, a bit more the brake, the engine brake could have been beneficial to actually bring the car into corners while maybe sliding a bit more and not just depending on the brake force applied. Would have been, I think, beneficial. Anyway, this is the victory number, I don't remember how many races. So apart from second or third placement back then into a race that I don't remember, we clinch the cup with 76 points if I did a right calculation. Yes, no, 70. So we have won all races but one. I don't remember. Anyway, almost the double of the points of Mark Donoghue, more than double than Bernard Peruk, Ed Lothar, and so on. Dan Garney, a famous name, just 17 points, but obviously they are not calibrated. Oh, guys, my dream. We have a Porsche 906 at this point to go to the next cup. This is beautiful. Credit awards, 20,000. Okay, this one is won, and can we use the Porsche 906? Yes. So we don't even have the need for purchase of a new car. And from the next appointment, given that I'm recording 2 hours and 10 minutes, cutting down will be 1 hour, so I stop here. But will be very great maybe to, I don't know, not do 20 laps each. I will manually edit 10 laps per race, so we will do episode number 30 for races, 31 the other 4 races, and so on. We will reduce down to 10 laps, I think is better, and so we will reduce down to 10 laps each race. Will be better also for the short tracks, and also this one will be 30 and 30 or 10 and 10. I mean, at that point, I don't know, you will tell me, but in the comments if you like, but I would go definitely for 10 laps each and do 4 races for each 1 hour episode, but running possibly a Porsche 906 or maybe purchasing a 911 RSR. I don't know. We will not use the Ford GT40, that's for sure. The De Tomaso Pantera. Okay, so let's see. Sorry, if we start this select challenge, oh yes, the Ford GT40 disappears. So these are all the cars available and usable. And definitely yes, instead of this monster of 100 kilograms, 229 kilowatts will be 270 horsepower. Here we will have almost 1/3 less of power, sorry, of weight, but 200 horsepower available. I don't know. I would definitely go for the prototype also to sustain what I was saying while I was talking and driving at Imola a few minutes ago, saying that this one was the first production car, yes, but was more as a concept at the end of the 60s, designed to be a prototype. Also because the rest will be a boring street car, even if BMW back in the 70s was doing quite great and good cars. Corvette will be a heavy tank, impossible to win with. Maybe the De Tomaso Pantera, very powerful but very heavy, especially on short tracks and very driven tracks, will be not the right choice. Ferrari Dino, why not, but still an older car. The 365 as well, comparable to the De Tomaso Pantera, less powerful. The Ferrari Dino will have also less power than the Ferrari 365. The Ford Capri, very powerful but very heavy. The Ford Escort, maybe compromise similar to this one, 930 kilograms, 186 kilowatts, 190 kilograms. Yeah, I mean, a bit more powerful. But yes, I would go definitely with the car one, if you don't mind. It would be nice. And anyway, thank you very much for watching, for staying here. In 1 hour will be a short episode, I think, deserving to be watched easily. Stay very well. I wish you all the best. See you in the next appointment. That will be maybe around the world in 24 hours from Zeltweg. I don't remember. With the car you have chosen, the De Tomaso Pantera. Seen here but never on Power and Glory. So will be maybe a nice challenge to try to face together. Thank you. Merci beaucoup. Spasiba. Obrigado. Thank you very much again. Grazie. Muchas gracias. And Dankeschön. Arigato. Stay very well. Stay into keen racing as well. See you in the next appointment for the iKeysRacing community. And remember to vote in the community page on YouTube. Stay very well. Great things to you. Bye bye. See you very soon. Ciao. 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 Thank you. Bye.